If you're not getting past this today, this week, this month, this year, all of a sudden a decade goes by and you're still hung up and you can't get rid of that thing. If it's holding you back from going where you want to go, maybe you should just deny the thing ever happened. Yeah. Kick it in the head. Yeah. Kick it off the curb. I'm done with you. I'm sick of you. I'm tired of hanging out with you. I'm tired of that thing, whatever it is, holding me back from going where I want to go. I think part of the challenges in life is a lot of us are running around half-assing ourselves. Half-fooling ourselves, not full of ourselves, not studying ourselves enough, not holding ourselves to task enough, not patting our own self on the back when we do get what we want enough, not cracking our own whip on our backside when we do get out of line even though we knew better. I wish we were more full of ourselves that way. Someone said this to me before. Somebody, Matthew, you're so full of yourself. And without thinking, I was like, well, who else am I supposed to be full of?
That's a good line.
And I stopped there and I was like, that's exactly what I meant. And I wrote that down. I wish more people were more full of themselves. Not in the arrogant way, but I'm talking about a healthy ego to understand. And I understand the ego's difference between I and me. Me's the objective, but to know the I wish more people, I wish we were more full of ourselves. Do what you say. If you can't do it, don't say you can do it. Don't over-leverage yourself. Don't over-leverage a decision and then jump in and kind of dip a toe. I think I'll try it out. No, think if you're going to try it out beforehand, but when it's time to go, dive. Finish it. Find out. Come out the other side. Don't leave it and go, ooh, if I just would have. That keeps me up at night. I think it keeps a lot of us up at night. When you half-ass something and you just don't know whether you failed or succeeded, got what you want or didn't get what you want. Finding out and looking in the mirror and going, I didn't half-ass it. I went all the way. I found out, and that ain't for me. Or I found out, and you damn right that is for me. That's a great place to get to. There's plenty to fear in life. But let's admit, most of the time, when we get the courage to confront that which we fear, we usually find out that there wasn't much to fear at all. There was no boogeyman under the bed. So whether it's the future, the unknown, or our flaws, we have to look the monster in the eye and hold that son of a bitch's gaze. It's hard, I know. We want to blink. Let me try that. But don't blink. So I'm telling you, if you hold its gaze, it's going to bow and it's going to heed. It will become mortal and then it becomes manageable. To look the boogeyman in the eye and laugh at him. To dare ourselves to be inconsiderate and not ask for permission. Sometimes we got to listen to that little whisper inside us that only we can hear and chase that f***ing dream down just so we can find out. Don't study the result. What was the person doing when they got there? And everybody who's achieved something great was some sort of outlaw.
Yep.
Some sort of hustler. Out of balance, out of whack, dark times. Whoa. Still wakes up in the middle of the night and glad they're wearing a mouth guard because they had chipped all their teeth with that f***ing nightmare they were having about those things they did back then. I'm one of those. If you can, be happy for your lover when they succeed or are succeeding or are across the room at the party laughing with a stranger. Mm-hmm. To be happy for them when it has nothing to do with you.
It's a choice you make not to give any time to the jealousy, to the very natural jealousy that we humans have.
I've got it, I've had it, and I have it. I just don't, I haven't seen where it has any payback. Owner's mentality versus a renter's mentality. So many people have the renter's mentality. Relationships, businesses, transactional. Yeah, well, flip it, get it, flip it. And they never give the relationship the chance to possibly be a friendship, to possibly be a long-term relationship, to possibly be a great mate, great partner. They never give the real estate, the house, a chance to actually maybe become a home, to go in with an owner's mentality. I've only hired people that I was like, I'm hoping this is going to be a lifer. Mm-hmm. I'm hoping you're going to provide what I need, and you're going to get from me what you need, that this could work out forever.
You've got this great line where you say so many people are obsessed with how to live longer instead of how to live better.
Yeah.
How do you come to think about that?
Quantity, success without the profit. Ooh, how much more can I get? I'm for it, the longevity. But in the pursuit of it, are we measuring quality of life along the way? Some people aren't. I personally don't want to have the highest number, but then go, that wasn't any fun, or I didn't enjoy that. I'm just trying to remind everyone that just like in business, when I say success without the profit, we have plenty of people that succeed. If you got the most money, the most toys, you succeed. Profit measures quality with the quantity. So I'm saying real success is when you have profit. Well, really great longevity would be those quality years, quality time left in this life. I also say that because while I'm not looking forward to it, I'm not really afraid of death or dying. Obviously, it's inevitable, and obviously, I personally see it as hopefully a comma, not a period. I think we ought to just watch being obsessed with that at the expense of quality of life.
Walk forward with more courage and start becoming the man you want to be instead of acting like it and putting it off.
So I want to ask you, can you admit something in your life that you don't feel like you deserve or have earned? Can you admit a goal or a dream that you want to chase, but you're feeling like, nah, I can't fly that high. I'm not equipped. I don't really have the ability. I'm not qualified. Can you admit something in your life that guilt is keeping you from getting? Can you admit something that you don't want to start, continue, or finish because you're afraid to? Say it aloud to yourself. Write it down. Confess. Admit it. We all have jealousy. I get it. But it's very important to be able, if you can, be happy for your lover when they succeed, or are succeeding, or are across the room at the party laughing with a stranger. To be happy for them when it has nothing to do with you. Life is not easy. It is not. Don't try to make it that way. Life's not fair. It never was. It isn't now, and it won't ever be. Do not fall into the trap, the entitlement trap, of feeling like you're a victim. You are not. Get over it and get on with it. And yes, most things are more rewarding when you break a sweat to get them. What's better? Take eight big risks in life, sin once, miss the mark once, but get achieve seven out of 8. Or take 100 risks and achieve 8 of them. My hunch is that if there's a God, he's saying, go for the 100 and get 8, rather than 8 and get 7. Because if you're not taking enough risks to sin or miss the mark, which is what sin means, to fail, what are you doing? Don't go back with even money. Go back with safe bets. If you don't believe in heaven, do what you can to get as far away from hell as possible. Sometimes I'm just trying to just don't sink the ship right now. Just keep your head above water.
A good man has ideals that they stand for and they'll stand against, and when they're tested, a good man is not a nice guy. A good man's not looking for trouble, but if it comes, and if he or something he cares about and those who are susceptible, a good man does what he can to do to stop that.
If life was nothing but green lights and we didn't have yellows and reds, things that make us pause, hardships, crises, times for introspection, then what the hell would it all be for? We need the yellows and the reds. That's how we evolve. That's how hopefully there's some ascension to our being. That's how we give some credit to time and growing older. If we were the same person today that we were 20 years ago, then what the hell are we doing?
Happiness, as most of us are taught, is result-oriented. If then. If I get this, then I will be happy. If I reach this goal, then I will be happy. It's almost like a ta-da moment. There's no ta-da moment. There's no hill that you get to the top of and you go, finally, I did it. Because what do you see? Once you get to the top, how's other hills? What I've noticed is joy is more the verb, enjoying the process of the doing. The best we can do is get to the end of this life and look back and go, well, I didn't make it to the top, but how many stairs did I ascend? Or how wide did my stairs reach? Or how deep did my roots grow? Just tally it up, and if there's life after this, hopefully the prime mover's going, well done. But I mean, I think that's as good as it gets.
Without complacency, trust that time is on your side.
Yep.
What do you mean there?
Yeah, man. Look, and I know how to hustle, and let's go. The clock's ticking. We're all behind. All hands on deck. Sometimes we've got to do that. But that is usually because an unforeseen circumstance has happened, that there's a crisis we got to deal with, or we've procrastinated and I put myself in that position where we got to cram. But it's not those two circumstances. We got to watch ourselves getting ahead of time. Time's on our side, and we're forced to think and feel, especially today, with how fast things move. But time's still moving at the same speed, and they're not given more than 24 hours a day, even though me, like a lot of people, are looking for more. It's on our side. It's the John Wooden, a great basketball coach for UCLA. Be quick, but don't be in a hurry. That was his note to his basketball players. Like, be quick, but don't be in a hurry. You will miss things. It's on our side. It's going to happen. And since it's going to happen, that's non-negotiable, might as well go, well, I'm not going to rush to try and make more of it than there is. I want to try and spend the time I got as well as I can to produce, succeed, achieve, well, whatever those things are, but also at a pace that I'm me, that I'd like to dance to. I like the give and the take. I like the reverb. I like the cause and effect of how things are happening at this pace. Happiness is an emotional response to an outcome. If I win, I will be happy. If I don't, I won't. It's an if-then, cause and effect, quid pro quo standard that we cannot sustain because we immediately raise it every time we attain it. You see, happiness demands a certain outcome. It is result reliant. And I say, if happiness is what you're after, then you're going to be let down frequently, and you're going to be unhappy much of your time. Joy, though, joy is a different thing. It's something else. Joy is not a choice. It's not a response to some result. It's a constant. Joy is the feeling that we have from doing what we are fashioned to do, no matter the outcome. Now, personally, as an actor, I started enjoying my work and literally being more happy when I stopped trying to make the daily labor a means to a certain end. For example, I need this film to be a box office success. I need my performance to be acknowledged. I need the respect of my peers. All those are reasonable aspirations, but the truth is, as soon as the work, the daily making of the movie, the doing of the deed became the reward in itself for me, I got more box office, more accolades and respect than I ever had before. See, joy is always in process. It's under construction. It is in constant approach, alive and well in the doing of what we're fashioned to do and enjoying it. Sometimes it does suck, and you got to do some hard things. You're like, man, this doesn't feel right. Now, does it not feel right, or do we just not like it? There's a lot of things I got to do that we got to do that we don't like to do to get to the other side and go, well, especially as we get older, we got things that we've invested in. Family and friends and relationships, our own self. Those are some fires that we've been putting logs on for a while. And it can be hard sometimes to sit there and keep tending those fires on our own soul. But you sit there and you go, I believe that if I do the hard work now and break this sweat and draw some blood to make this work, which sucks, I'm going to get to the other side. It's a sacrifice I'm willing to take to get to the other side and go, oh, there we go. Cool doesn't really intrude. Cool doesn't trespass. You know those people you talk to, you're like, man, I love talking to them because they kind of hold their space, man. You know those people you talk to that are always trying to get in there and solicit and get you're like, be cool, man.
Yeah.
Hold your ground, own your shit.
Yeah.
You don't need me to convert to make you cool.
Right. Chill the fuck out.
Right. So I think it's ownership. And if I can find that, or any performance I see where you see somebody own whoever they are, the nerds are cool.
Right.
When they're like, I'm a nerd, man, I like this shit. That's cool.
You ever had a gut feeling that maybe you were meant for more, but you weren't really sure what the next best steps were to achieve it? Me too. So what's your more? What's your destination? And I'm not talking about just more money or more things. I'm also talking about more love, more joy, more choice, more balance, more trust. What's your more?
Truly masculine man is not an oppressor. Truly masculine man is not macho. It's not chauvinist. But he's damn sure masculine. Most masculine I've ever felt after the birth of my first child. Never were my head heart and loins in such synchronicity, and the power that I had. I was probably the best husband ever at that time too. Men want to and are looking for ways to be relied upon. And so we say, yeah, but you always want to be the savior and you always want the solution. Okay, cool. There's nothing wrong with wanting to find the solution to things. Great, let's work with that. Thank you, women, for saying, glad you got the solution, but just listen to me for a second longer, because I'm not looking for a solution. Actually, I just want to talk this out, and I'll probably answer my own question. Doesn't mean don't be the male side of you that wants to find the solution or wants to be relied upon. There's nothing wrong with that. Called me at 7:36 p.m. I remember the number. Hey, Pop. Hey, what's up, monkey man? So listen, can I talk to you about something? Sure. Dad, I don't want to go to law school anymore. I want to go to film school. Little bead of sweat starts to go down the back of my neck. I'm like, here it comes. You want what? I thought he was going to go into all this stuff about that. Could be a hobby, but yeah, that's not a real job. I thought all this was coming. And after about a 5-second pause, he goes, are you sure that's what you want to do? Yes, sir. Another long pause. Then I hear, well, don't half-ass it. And the way he said don't half-ass it was also, okay, let's go, big boy. Own that shit. Get some leverage, get some horsepower behind where you're going. Go do it. Family and friends and relationships, our own self. Those are some fires that we've been putting logs on for a while. And it can be hard sometimes to sit there and keep tending those fires or keep tending those gardens we're talking about, right? On our own soul. But you sit there and you go, I believe that if I do the hard work now and break this sweat and draw some blood to make this work, which sucks, I'm going to get to the other side. It's a sacrifice I'm willing to take to get to the other side and go, oh, there we go. All right, there we go. Now I can sleep better. Now I can wake up going, yep, I'm still connected to what I created in the past for myself. I did the next right thing for myself. And it sucked. But damn it, that's right there where I could have backed off and retreated. I could have said, oh, I smell smoke. Gonna be fire. Sometimes it's like, no, it's smoke. Maybe go put out the damn fire before it turns into one. My goal would be that later on in life, when my kids, 30 years from now, that I can be counted as, on one hand, as one of the, they could say, my dad's one of my best friends.
Oh, it's beautiful.
That I could just, I don't have to be the first one, be the second or the third.
On the hand.
On the hand.
Beautiful.
That would be,
Yeah.
because I think it's the living form of immortality.
Yeah.
Become a father, you're immortal. Become a parent, you are immortal.
Yeah.
It's past, it's going on. There's so many lessons that I'm realizing that I'm not going to figure out in this life, but they may come to fruition by my eldest son's great-great-grandchildren.
Yeah.
And I will be an author of that. That sense of immortality in fatherhood is something that I'm really honored with.
I think we can all agree we all want more. We have dreams, we have goals. We gotta ask ourselves, first, more what? And that starts, I think, by going and answering that question, well, what do I value the most? And so look at the things that you already got in your holster that you value. Because you don't want to be reckless with those things, cast them off and let all the weeds grow around those, and then all of a sudden you can't even recognize that card. So start with the things that we got in your saddle that you do already give about, that already give you meaning and value in your life, and double down on those. Project forward. And if that happens, what I dream of it to become? When we're talking about career, we got to ask ourselves first, I think this would be really valuable for everyone to ask themselves first, what do you have an innate ability for? An innate talent for? Is that the same thing you're willing to work for? And then thirdly, which is a little bit more of an asterisk, is that something that the world would demand? The choices I make today have to do with where I'll be tomorrow. Yes, they have consequences. My choices matter. Thank you. That's what I heard. But it wasn't exclusive of having faith and belief. Again.
What caused that period of your life in your late 20s where you started to drift? Because at that time you'd had your first success as an actor.
I think I gave myself the luxury of living that fully independent top of the penthouse. I got money. I decided to go check in at the Chateau Marmont. I laid down a $120,000 tab. Just let me know when that's out. Me and my dog. A couple years. Bought a pair of leather pants and a motorcycle. Told myself, the next 2 years, if you ever think you've had too many, order another one. Next 2 years, you ever go, oh, maybe I should have a single? Order a double.
Is fame as great as it looks from our side of the TV?
Probably.
I mean, I've been with you, and it's very hard for you to have a private moment, especially when you walk out.
Yeah, no, it comes with its lack of privacy. It comes with no longer meeting strangers anymore. It comes with losing an anonymous soul, which I think is necessary for everybody, especially any artist. It comes with people have pre-made biography on you before howdy, and they jump right into sorry about your dog. And you're like, number one, hey, what's your name? Number two, how'd you know I had a dog? Number three, how'd you know she had cancer? It's like, whoa, you're kind of trespassing. People go, oh, you changed. Like, you're damn right I changed. Yeah, well, hopefully. You have to work harder to carve time for yourself and for what you care about, irregardless of the rest of the world. And that becomes harder to do. You have expectations on you. So if you're famous for one thing, for instance, I was famous for rom-coms. I had to leave the business for 2 years to get the ability to do something else. And for 2 years, people were going, what are you doing? That's not, no. You can't do that. You can't do that. And so it's harder, if you get famous for one thing, it's harder to maybe move over and try something else. But the upside is just the chance to make those changes, no matter how hard they are. The access to things, people, places, experiences that come with fame are awesome. Backstage passes, whatever in life, are great. I also, though, am a realist, and you know me well enough to know that once something's inevitable, I'm like, that check's been cashed. The last thing I'm going to do is bitch about it. Right? There's nothing I can do about it. There's no going back for me. So the last thing I'm going to do is go, oh man, I hem and haw about my existence. So am I being optimistic and talking about the upside of it? You damn right I am, because I am famous. Ain't no going back on it.
But you can fall further than the rest of us.
Yeah, but it also comes with inherent ladders to maybe rise higher than I would be able to with that fame. And I mean, I'll take that opportunity to bet on that. And it's something I'm trying to teach my kids now. It's like, hey, there's one person you gotta be able to get along with, buddy, because it's the one person you can't get rid of. You. Yeah. And you've got to shake hands with yourself. And if you're uncomfortable when you're alone, it's a pretty good sign that you need to spend some more alone time with yourself. We're the only ones we can't get rid of, so let's try and get along in this gig.
With scripts, the question that I get asked most often, and I think most actors get asked most often, is, how do you remember all those lines? And I'm always like, well, you don't try to remember all the lines. You look at what's on the text. First, you read it and you try to understand it. You read it again. Me, I read it after a run when my endorphins are flying. I read it late Saturday night when I've got a good buzz going. I read it when I'm feeling, right after church, when I'm feeling in a very forgiving mood. I'll read it when I'm mad, sad, glad, tired, happy, excited. In many different places where I am personally, I'll read a script, and that means I'll have a different look at the same scenes because I'm in a different place. And I gather all that for weeks, if not months, before I start really locking into making decisions on what my character would or wouldn't do, on truths of my man, as I call it. And you have to watch in a script not to grab a hold of things that you want to take literally too early. Because you don't want to get bound to anything. You want to stay loose. Well, over and over through repetition, you know the script, you know what it's about. It's not about knowing the lines. What's the scene about? What does the character want out of this scene? What's the obstacle in front of this character to get what he wants? What does the character need in the scene? And then overall, what's happening in the scene? So if you do it over and over, it's never about memorizing the lines. It's understanding what the hell you're saying and what you mean and what you're trying to get. And what you need, why you're having trouble getting it, how are you going to get past that obstacle to get what you need. That you do that enough, the lines on the day are like 𝐘𝐿 says, they're fringe on the carpet. I mean, they're just words, and that's the difference from writing and acting. The actor brings a bloodline to the role. It's as much about what we don't say as what we do. If I can pull off a paragraph, the meaning of a paragraph, with one look, go with the look, not the words. And so I always say it's not about memorizing the lines. You don't think about memorizing the lines at all. I write a lot. I break down the scripts and scenes
I'll have, most of my scenes, I'll have a version that's 8 times longer than the scene because I've rewritten it so many times in so many ways. I may not say anything that I rewrote, but everything I wrote tells me more, informs me more on what was on the page. And to my hero, that's who I chase. Now, when I was 15 years old, I had a very important person in my life come to me and say, who's your hero? And I said, I don't know, I got to think about that. Give me a couple of weeks. I come back 2 weeks later. This person comes up and says, who's your hero? I said, I thought about it. You know who it is? I said, it's me in 10 years. So I turned 25 10 years later. That same person comes to me and goes, so are you a hero? And I was like, not even close. No. She said, why? I said, because my hero is me at 35. So you see, every day, every week, every month, and every year of my life, my hero's always 10 years away. I'm never going to be my hero. I'm not going to attain that. I know I'm not. And that's just fine with me because that keeps me with somebody to keep on chasing. So to any of us, whatever those things are, whatever it is we look up to, whatever it is we look forward to, and whoever it is we're chasing, to that I say amen. To that I say, all right. To that I say, just keep living, huh? Thank you.
What have you learned about choosing a good partner?
Sometimes you're running and the other one's walking. And it's okay to be ahead, but don't lose sight. Don't get so far ahead that you leave your mate lost back there going, sometimes, somebody's real healthy, the other one's on IR. Oh, we're still on the same team. That takes patience by the one who's healthy and takes persistence by the one who's on IR. But you gotta wait up to hold that hand to go, we're still doing this together, even though maybe in this zone right now in my life, I'm flying and you're walking. So certain things that I find, well, she's flying and I'm walking, And so navigating that, how we change as we grow up, and measuring that against who we initially fell for in the first place and saying, well, they are still that. Of course they changed. Hell, I've changed. I want to say, and a lot of times I know we say it, I say it. Well, you've changed. I was like, well, heaven, yeah, I've changed.
I'd hope so.
Yeah, and doing that with a partner is part of the work, I think, of a relationship.
When faced with the inevitable, get relative. And as soon as we can be faced and we can admit and realize the inevitable, whatever happens in our life, and get relative with now going forward, what's my decision-making paradigm, I think the better. Now, biggest red light in my life, my dad died. I went through the pain, went through the mourning. I still miss him. But the green light is I was forced to get very courageous in my life, and to get courageous and finding my own identity, and to put my act on the line about what I stood for and what I stood against, and look in the mirror and go, where you just been acting like what Dad's been raising you to be, and where you've been really doing it.
I honestly think I'd written myself a one-way ticket out of Hollywood. People close to me, basically almost everybody besides my wife, was like, what is your major malfunction, little brother?
You got it made.
Why are you throwing a jackknife in this stuff where you're tripping yourself running downhill, man? You did it. I had my wife and myself to remind myself of that 4 a.m. clarity that I had in tears when I was like, no, I'm rolling the dice. I'm sticking with it. And yeah, man, I did think I wrote myself a ticket out of Hollywood. I did look at other vocations, become a teacher, a wildlife guide. I seriously looked at those things. But over time, and it was about 20 months, it was gone long enough, had found anonymity enough, was not in your living room in a theater in a rom-com, you didn't see me on a beach shirtless. Where is he? And then I think I told you the story, turning down the $14.5 million offer made people go, oh shit, what's he up to? You don't just step out of Hollywood and enter, unless you turn that down because you got a plan. You got somewhere you want to go. And I think that made me more attractive as a new novel idea. But that was, that risk I think it's fair to say that took a fair amount of courage from me.
Has ambition ever led you astray?
I've done some things ambitiously, and I won't talk out of school with who it was, that I chased. I succeeded. I may not be sitting here right now if I wouldn't have chased those things, but I bruised some people along the way. And I look back and I regret that. You didn't say goodbye the right way, McConaughey. And then I go, well, I want to go back and repair that. And all of a sudden more time goes by and he goes, well, I can't repair it. And I just want to go, I'm sorry for it.
Did you?
Some of them, yes. Some of them I have not. A couple that I went back and said, I could have handled this exit better, this transition that we had. They had already forgiven me. They were like, don't, dude, I was happy to feel that, oh, your threshold of sensitivity is higher than maybe even theirs was, and it was okay, but I still didn't mean that my feelings were invalid. And I've still got probably a couple out there which I could go back and go, hey, I just want to say, for what it's worth or not, and I don't want to come in here and be condescending. If you've already moved on, if you're like, what the hell are you talking about? I just got, for me, if you give me a second, listen, I bogeyed back there. I could have handled that better. I could have still done what I did.
Yeah.
But I didn't have to turn a blind eye.
Yeah.
Reservations for one. You're gonna need that in life. If you're not enjoying your company, that means you probably need to spend more time with yourself until you can shake hands with whatever the hell's bugging you. Even high school. What did you do this weekend? Oh, I went and saw this movie. Oh yeah, who'd you go with? Just me. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm going, no. I'm not being a hermit. I'm not being antisocial, but I preferred to go by myself. Or I go out to dinner and someone goes, well, who are you with? Nobody. Why didn't you call us? Well, I really kind of preferred. I wanted to go have a reservation for one. I needed it.